Hi guys, it's the Artsy Gamer back again for another video in our channel. Of course, grab your teas, grab your coffees, and yes, maybe a little bit of food. And let's do this. Okay, now you know how this works, guys. Let's take a sip of black coffee before we begin. Come on, join me, join me. Mmm. Yes, lovely. And of course, going on my Crash Bandicoot coaster there. And yes, guys, if you're new here today and you're into gaming retrospectives, complete and box experiences, art and graphic design, and of course a whole load of nostalgia, then yes, you are so in the right place here. So definitely consider giving this channel a subscribe and a like to the video if you haven't already. And yes, guys, if you can handle the Artsy Gamers mess and madness and want to get notified when the next video goes live, then of course just pop on your notification bell, held up by tails there. Well, yesterday we actually started to complete our lovely 500 subscriber giveaway art piece. This lovely Crash Bandicoot thing that we've got going on here. Oh, yes. So yesterday we actually started to colour in the Crash Bandicoot logo. Had a great time doing that, just showing off some little tips here and there to really make the most out of your yellow colour. Today we are now going to go behind the scenes a little bit and do the lovely brown backdrop of the wooden effect that is seen behind the Crash Bandicoot logo. What we're going to do with that today is we're going to apply a base coat, very similar to what we did with the yellow yesterday. Then we're going to work some darker browns in and then hopefully get a little bit of a felt tip towards this today and actually create a bit of a wood grain effect, because yes, that is kind of the artsy gamer tip and trick I would like to give you today, is how to create a really cool wood grain effect. Yeah. I did say yesterday that I'm probably not going to have time to do the whole thing today on camera, but what I would like to do is maybe colour in this really lovely little mushroom towards the side here, just so we have got a little kind of feature that we can colour in today, and I can give you some ideas and yeah, some tips. I keep saying the word tips. Is there another word besides tips and tricks? Anyway,
advice.
maybe on how to do this lovely mushroom here, and then yeah, I'll probably leave the rest, like the foliage and stuff like that, when I get a chance in my own time. But yes, I'm hoping to complete this today, guys. So yeah, stay tuned towards the end, because I probably will drop this as my giveaway today. Oh yeah, so you know what? Yeah, let's just say it. Let's not
Cut around the bush.
is that the right saying? Beat around the bush, guys. Beat around the bush.
Beat around the bush, guys. Beat around the bush.
Yeah, we are going to drop this today. Absolutely. So, guys, yeah, stay towards the end for details on how to enter the competition for this lovely Crash Bandicoot piece. Will be at the end. Oh, yeah, I've said it now, guys, so I've got to complete it now, haven't I? Anyway. And let's just take a sip of coffee, guys. I'm a bit parched today, as always. I'm a bit parched. And then we'll take you through kind of like what setup we need to complete the wooden grain effect today. So, lovely. Okay, then, so yeah, wood, it needs to be a bit brown, doesn't it? Where's my stuff? It's all down here. Okay, then, so going through our pencil colours today. Of course, browns, like I just said. Now we do need a little bit of a mix, I would say. So let's just get all these lovely pencil colours in. So I've got a real mix of browns today because, yeah, wood is very patchy. You have some darker bits, you have some lighter bits. I would say getting a mix of browns is really worth having here. So yeah, you know what? You just get creative with it. This is kind of the wood kind of that I've gone for. Quite, yeah, I would say quite dark, actually. It's not like a light wood, but I'm trying to represent the PlayStation 1 Crash Bandicoot logo here, which it is quite a dark wood, isn't it? Wouldn't you agree? Quite a dark, yeah, colour effect there. But there are aspects of light in it. If you just have a look down there, there's a little bit of a lighter brown. Just behind the Crash logo there as well, there's a little bit of a light bit of wood there. So yeah, there is a real mix of browns here. So just get a nice selection and work from that. I have been lucky enough to pick some nice kind of like pencils that have a bit of a shine to them as well. So yeah, I mean, that was just something that I saw and I was, oh yeah, I like those. So you don't necessarily have to have some pencils with like a glossy shine on it. But you know what? I think, yeah, adding a little bit of a shimmer to your artwork is quite nice. So I have picked out like a little bit of a brown with a bit of a shimmer to it as well. And that could probably just be a bit of a coat that you just pop on at the end. Yeah. So those are the browns we need. In regards to tips, I would say a big kind of thicker brown and also a thinner brown. So a thick and a thin will be great. Whether or not we use both, I don't know, but it's always good to have those to hand. I would like to get just a normal pencil as well. I did say yesterday I probably wouldn't bother doing too much of the shading, but you know what, as I'm there, why not? We'll maybe take you through a bit of a process on how to do a bit of shading to your letters, so why not? We're there. And if we are to do the mushroom, if we've got time, then of course red is a really bright red mushroom. Actually, I will bring this over to the art studio because yeah, you will need your reference points. But it is a really big bright red mushroom, isn't it? Yeah, so all the red you need, the brightest red pencil you've got, the big red fat tip, and then maybe a little small one as well. So yeah. Oh my gosh, well, very excited to get going with this today. And like I said, yeah, I've got to complete it now because yeah, technically I've dropped it, haven't I? All right then, let's get over to the art studio. All right then, so yes, here we are set up in the art studio, and like I said, and always, make sure we've got our reference points to hand. I've got my lovely Crash Bandicoot PlayStation 1 artwork here as well to just reference to and fro. Right then, so here we go. I would love to start by creating a lovely brown wooden effect at the backdrop of this Crash Bandicoot logo, as seen here if I just bring this to the camera. Yeah, so this really cool wooden effect actually, isn't it? So that's what we're going to get on to grips with today. I nearly lost my words there, guys. Okay then, so yeah, here we go. To start off with, very similar to yesterday, we are just going to, I would say, create a base colour. And we're just going to start colouring in the wooden effect behind the Crash logo. As simple as that really, guys. All right, and I am starting off with my cheaper pencil again. Now, it's not always necessary with darker colours to create a base coat. But you know what? I think because there is a lot going on with this wooden effect here, there's a lot of shading, a lot of bits of wood that are darker than others. I think it is just a good idea maybe to just get a bit of a coat done first, and that's just my opinion. If you would like to just dive straight into it, by all means. But I think just for the different, I don't know, the way the wood grain is working against the yellow and like I said, all the different variants of brown that is seen in that logo. I just think it is a good idea maybe just to use your cheaper pencil that I mentioned yesterday, just to get a bit of a base layer on. And already, you know, it's coming to life, and I've, only just
Scratch the surface.
shall I say, with this. All right then, so that's exactly what I want you guys to do now. If you are following along with me or you're doing something similar, just get cracking with colouring in the whole of your wooden background. Okay, so with this and at this stage, I wouldn't be going, you know, too hardcore. It is just very, very rough. So don't worry about it being a little bit messy. What I would try and advise, though, is trying to go all the way up to all the lines. Of course, I am rushing a little bit here. So I am going to go away and cut the camera now, pretty much, just to allow me to do that. But it's pretty straightforward at the moment, so you don't really need to see too much of me colouring this in. It is pretty much just doing a basic colour of the wood. Right then, like I said, I'm just going to go and cut away the camera now, and hopefully we'll come back with this coloured in all nice and brown. Okay, and here we are now with our Crash Bandicoot sign, fully coloured with a lovely brown behind it. Yeah, look at that to really give it that wooden effect. Right then, so that's pretty much our base layer done first, and now we're going to get our darker brown. Now I am going to run again my pencil along all the base colour, almost to give it another base coat again, because it is quite a hard colour to, I would say, get all the nooks and crannies in with that kind of wood grain effect. So yeah, I would advise maybe going over it again. But now, picking out specific key features. So what I mean by that is, yes, we are just going to do another kind of like straight coat over it. But every now and then, when you see, I don't know, maybe a small little wood grain effect, you're just going to press that little bit harder. Also, when you see the Crash logo, when we come near a letter, we are going to press that little bit harder just to give it a bit of a 3D effect where you think a shadow might be casting. I would like kind of I would say the light bulb to be casting maybe from this direction straight onto the Crash logo there. So there will be some shades and shadowing effect just kind of like beneath some of these letters here, and maybe just at the top as well. And of course, I'll show you that when we get there. So let's just give an example. So first of all, like I said, you're just going to now be running that pencil again along your base coat. Like I said, to almost create another base coat, actually. So yeah. Now, here we go. First up, I came across this bit just in the left-hand side here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press that a little bit harder and maybe just run my pencil along that kind of wooden effect that we've just made with our black liner earlier in the week. And then I'm just going to press that a little bit harder. Okay, really work that pencil into that wood grain. Yeah, there we go. And it just gets that little bit darker, doesn't it? All right. And then once you've done that, you're just going to then continue shading. You know, nothing too much. Pretty straightforward, this bit. But again, maybe I might come to a letter now. I'm just kind of scooting my pencil up here. And yes, obviously, I said the light bulb is where my hand is now, cascading that light directly, you know, onto that Crash logo there. But there might be a little bit of that R that is in the way. And of course, there'll be a shadow behind it. So I'm just going to press that a little bit harder. Okay. And then boom. I've just kind of created a little bit of a shadow there as well. Can you just see what I've done there? I've just created that basic shape. Press that little bit harder into the paper, and then already there's a bit of a shadow there, isn't there, behind that R. So that's exactly what I want you to do now, guys, if you are following along with me or doing something very similar. You're just going to now basically go over it, your brown again, with that darker colour, but every so often, if we get to a key feature, you're just going to highlight it with a little bit of brown by pressing harder. So again, we've got a bit of an eye here, those wooden eyes you like to call them. So let's just press a little bit harder around that eye. Yeah, there we go. Whoa, it doesn't really have to be too technical or anything. You're just going to press that a little bit harder, all right, around the eye. And then once it's done, just then release that pencil a little bit more and then kind of go back into colouring to, again, just create another base coat of brown on the brown that you've already done. All right. And again, look, it's coming up here. So very similar to that R. I'm just going to, yeah, create a bit of a shadow here by pressing that a little bit harder. Oh, yeah. Okay. Into the paper. And again, it kind of gives it that 3D look. There we go. Nice. All right. Okay. Yeah. And another thing where you think there would be a bit of a, yeah, just a bit of darker wood, you know, down here as well. I'm sure it would be quite dark where the light isn't catching. Okay. So just wherever you think there might be a bit of shade, bit of shadowing, just press that a little bit harder along that colour work that you've just done in your darker colour brown. All right. Well, I'm going to crack on with that. Do exactly what I've just told you and you should be absolutely fine. I'm going to cut the camera and we'll see what it looks like once we're done. Right then, guys, and yes, here we are. And I have now gone round this Crash Bandicoot wooden effect here by pressing just that little bit harder with the darker brown. And I think that's worked really well. Now, what I did add actually off the camera was a little bit of like a maroon colour as well. I just thought it was kind of like screaming a little bit more of like a reddish look as well. Because if we just take the box art here, there is actually, I would say, a bit of like a red effect to it as well. So we definitely needed that actually. So what I did was pretty much just go around some of the areas where I'd already pressed that little bit harder with our darker brown, and then I just brought it to life by pressing again that little bit harder with a bit of maroon, and I think it worked really well. Again, just a very quick example because I did do that off the camera here, but there's a bit of a wood grain effect here. Again, I just picked it out, just highlighted a little bit by just pressing that little bit harder with the maroon here, and then I just kind of like faded it into the brown. So yeah, it was as simple as that really. So again, maybe if you've got like a deep dark red, I would advise bringing it to this piece as well if you are following along. Yeah, so it's looking really, really lovely. Right then, but you know what? It is definitely screaming a little bit more of a wood effect. Because yes, when we went round this with our black liner, I did just want to add a few subtle indications that this was like a plank of wood by adding those kind of eyes that you see in the wood grain effects there. But I did say that there needed to be more, but I would have liked to have done this in a brown. So yes, that's exactly what we're going to do next. We're going to bring in our brown tips now, some thin and some thick, to really go to town with this. We're going to be adding lines. We're going to be adding like wiggly wobbly lines as well to create, I would say, that kind of like jagged look that is going on here with the box art. All right, so here we go. Let's start off with the thinner tip now, and all you're going to do to start off with is run the brown line, I would say, just beneath some of the wood grain effects we've already done, just to have a little bit of practice, just to get us in the flow. And then once we feel a little bit more confident, then we can just do some standalone wood grain effects. So here we go then, guys. So for example, I've just got a bit of a line here, and then we might just feed just a brown line now, just beneath it, and maybe a little bit longer. And again, I might just put some, just feed them in between. Oh yes. Okay, just like that. All right, so to start to pick off some lines we've already done with your black liner, and just run your brown tip along them. Okay, you might even want to just add a few just at the base there. Follow the line of your jagged edges. All right. There was this eye here as well. Let's just incorporate a nice brown line with the eye, but maybe continue the line in a wibbly wobbly effect there. Maybe make it come off the page. Why not? Oh, all right then. And there was some up here as well. Through. Attach. Yeah, okay. So I'm pretty happy with how that is looking now. So now I'm just going to go a little bit more freestyle with the liner and maybe make some more kind of like, just some straight lines rather than wibbly wobbly ones. This pencil pot is really annoying me now. All right, so maybe just some straight lines. They're cut straight across potentially. Doesn't have to be exactly a straight line. All right. There we go. Let me see what I'm doing now. They might even attach to some of the black lines. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, this is looking nice. Yeah, so basically just draw like a few, straight lines now, right across your wooden effect. All right. Again, some can be a bit wibbly wobbly. But others just nice and straight. Oh yeah, great stuff. This is looking nice. And a little tip that I like to say is sometimes I actually like to rub out my pencil marks that I've already done, to create the actual shapes and logos and whatever I'm drawing. But sometimes if I leave them in, they can actually help with reference points. For example, I did a bit of a rectangle to create this box here. But I left some of my pencil marks in because I knew eventually that actually, some of these pencil marks could actually just help me guide my wood grain effect a little bit. And sometimes it helps with the shading as well. So sometimes it's good to keep your pencil marks in. It really does depend on the situation. But I'm kind of more on the side of, rub out some, but leave in some, because it can really help guide where those shapes and shadows can work and where you might want to put different key features in. And that line might come in handy to just help you, guide your pencil or pen around, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But yeah, there we go. Okay, and I might just draw some straight line here. Yeah, can you see what I'm doing there, guys? It's pretty straightforward and anyone can do this. And it really does now start to create, I would say, a wooden effect. It's looking really nice. Okay, so now I might add a few of those eyes that we have seen there, but now just with a brown tip. So why not? We'll add a big kind of circle here and just give it a colour in. So a big kind of like oval. And maybe around here as well, that might have just come off the line there. That's quite cool. Oh yeah, and then maybe one over here. Just get creative with it. Wherever you think there could be a bit of a space for a potential wooden eye, go for it. Yeah, I'm liking this. All right, and then it might just feed around a little bit. Oh yes. Nice. And if you're a little bit unsure, just keep following along with my pen marks and you should be absolutely fine. All right, okay, I'm very happy with how that is looking. Yeah, spot on. Really, really happy. Right then, so let's bring the thicker tip in now, shall we? And we'll see how we can play around with this. Now, I think this is pretty much just going to be one of those now where we just go round the whole border and the crash writing there with a thicker tip. I think I put a bit too much wood grain effect with a thinner tip to actually make it work with a thick one. That's just my opinion. So we'll just start to work your thicker tip now by just going around the perimeter of your wood grain. And to be honest with you, it could kind of like feed into a few of your black lines, but maybe just cut, the tip just ever so slightly so it's not a big solid brown line going through your art piece there. But yeah, I think this is really where it's going to come to life now. Yeah, just start to run your brown felt tip just around the perimeter of your Crash logo. And I think this is where it will really start to give it that 3D look. Yeah, absolutely. So guys, yes, here we go then. If you are following along with me, now is a great time to just get your brown thicker tip and start going around your wooden, logo. Absolutely. Right then, okay, so you know what then, guys? I'm just going to pop a bit of background music behind this and you can follow along with me by just going around your wooden effect and your Crash logo by using your thicker brown tip. Well, oh yes, baby, that is looking really, really nice, isn't it? That dark brown felt tip going around that just really makes it come to life, doesn't it? And I would say it actually gives it a bit more of a darker effect. That is seen in the Crash Bandicoot box there. It is a very deep, dark brown, isn't it, with hints of red. So yeah, I really do think that stands out really, really wonderfully. Very, very happy with that. Yes, absolutely, in my own time, I might just do a few little things here and there with regards to shading. But overall, for the camera, for, you know, just our basic kind of colours and draws, I think that is very, very suitable for you guys to have a go and follow along with. So yeah. Right then, well, as promised, why not, as we're here, let's have a little go at colouring in this lovely mushroom. Just so we have got some little feature that we've coloured in today just below there. Because yeah, guys, you know, it's our 500 sub giveaway, and I really do like to colour the whole thing in for you guys. But like I said, I'm a little bit pushed for time today, especially it being Mother's Day as well. So we'll just have a little go at colouring that in, and then, like I said, in my own time, I'll do the rest. So, like I said at the start, it is just a red colour that we need, and actually a grey, because if you look at the mushroom there, it isn't actually like a peachy colour, it is just a white. So it is just really the red hat of the mushroom that we're going to be colouring in. Now, here we go. It is just a big, bright, bold red that we need for this, and you're simply just going to colour it in. All right, now we can press relatively hard here. And we're just going to colour it in, obviously avoiding the big circles that we've got. All right. And we're just going to give it a good old colour. Now, once you have coloured the whole of the hat of the mushroom in, we are going to do a little bit of a shade, you know me, by doing our lovely kind of like shape, and where we need to be pressing a little bit darker. All right then, so here we go. Nearly done. Pretty easy, isn't it? It's not a full mushroom because some of it's been cut off by tea breaks drawing here, and also the edge of the paper. Lovely. And you can go a little bit more neater than I am. Of course, I will just touch this up in my own time, of course. Right then, yeah, really nice. Now, considering we were thinking about having that kind of like light bulb where my hand is kind of shooting down, it's going to be a little bit lighter up here. So we need to actually, I would say, create maybe like a line that just kind of catches maybe about here. All right, or shall I say a circle or semicircle there? Okay, and then this part of the mushroom is going to be a little bit darker, so that's where we're going to, yeah, give it a good old press in now. So really go to town with this, yeah, to make it really, really red. Press as hard as you can. Yeah, nice. And you might want to press that a little bit harder just round here. Lovely. Of course, just where the mushroom hat just sits on its actual, what would you call it? Stalk? And obviously it's going to be a little bit darker down there as well. Yeah, very happy with that. Cool. Okay, so yeah, this is where you would get your red felt tip now. And here's mine. And we're going to give that 3-tone effect. So we've got our lighter red that we've just worked, our darker red that we've just worked with the pencil as well. And then we're just going to, again, follow that same basic shape, but not as far. And then again, just give it a nice colour. Yeah, that's looking good, isn't it? Oh, nice. And then, yeah, maybe down here as well. Yeah, and then, yeah, here we go. Then you're just going to do our usual. Just run your line around the perimeter of everything. Even the circles. All the spots. Oh, yeah, that's looking really nice, isn't it? Whoa, okay. And then, yeah, here we go. Bring in your pencil that we should still have. And then we'll just create a little bit of shadowing. So probably just around here, isn't it? Okay, and just press that little bit lighter with your pencil. Okay. And then we've just created a bit of a shadow there on our mushroom. Nice. Oh, yeah, look at that. Really nice. And then you can, with a pencil, actually get your finger and actually smudge it a little bit as well, and that will work quite well. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. That was nice and simple, wasn't it? But still really, really cool. And then, like I said, yes, in my own time, this is where I might start to just work a little bit of a shading. Yeah, for example, here, just to make these letters really stand out. And you can use your pencil to actually go over pencil color. So that isn't a problem. And you can still smudge as well. So yeah, already, we can tell that we're going to put a good kind of shading effect there, can't you? Yeah, look at that. So I'll go away and do that in my own time with the writing. But yes, oh my God, there we go. Let's wrap up in the main studio and I'll give you some full details on how to enter our competition for this week. And here we have it. We have our 500 subscriber giveaway piece ready for our competition that I'm going to drop now, baby. Oh yes, here we go. If you want to enter my competition for a chance to win this lovely Crash Bandicoot piece inspired by the iconic PlayStation 1 Crash Bandicoot there, of course, Crash Bandicoot done by T-Break Drawing as well, and a little subtle hint of this pixelated artwork that I got inspired by with Kag's gaming book, then yes, full details are here. So if you want to win, you need to comment down below. Yeah, it's got to be, what is your favourite Crash Bandicoot game of all time? Let me know. If you actually haven't got one, then just pop down your favourite game of all time. I'm not too fussed, guys, but it is always interesting to see whose favourite Crash Bandicoot game is the winner and stuff like that. So yeah, so pop that down. You must share this video, you must like this video, and you must also be a subscriber to my channel. Once you've done all those 4 things, then yes, your name will be put in the hat, and I'll announce the winner next Sunday. Can you believe what I'll be doing? Yeah, popping all the names into one of my bucket hats up there. Like usual, I'll put my hand in, give it a bit of a rummage round, and yes, the name that I reveal will be the winner. So yes, very, very excited. And a little, extra, guys. T-Break has done a really lovely sticker that says, I think it was like 500 subscriber giveaway, and I will be printing out that sticker and I'll be sticking it towards the bottom there as well. So you actually have an exclusive 500 subscriber sticker. So when we do reach major, massive milestones like that, then yeah, you will get an exclusive sticker as well. For example, if we ever reach 1,000, then yeah, there'll be a little exclusive sticker on that art piece as well. So yeah, there we go. What a beautiful thing that we're doing here. And can I just say a massive thank you to T-Break Drawing again for allowing this to happen. Yeah. All right then, guys. Well, I better get cracking on with this because, yeah, this needs to be ready for the giveaway next Sunday. If I do complete it towards the end of the day, then I'll put a lovely picture of this towards the end of the video as well after the comment of the day. So definitely stay tuned. All right then, guys. Well, that is it. That is me for the day. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And of course, guys, I'll catch you in tomorrow's TikTok live and YouTube video. That is me, Artsy Gamer, over and out.